Reach under your kitchen sink for a second. That bottle of glass cleaner, the one with the sharp smell that stings your eyes if you lean too close, is full of ammonia. Now hold that thought and picture a cargo ship as long as 3 football fields crossing the open ocean. And picture it running not on oil, but on that exact chemical, the stuff under your sink. This is not a science project. The country that builds most of the ships on Earth has decided that the fuel of the future is ammonia, and it has already started putting giant ships that burn it into the water. The world's biggest shipbuilder is quietly taking its own fleet off oil. To see why that is such a big deal, you have to know a dirty secret about the things you own. Almost everything in your home, the phone in your hand, your furniture, your clothes, spent part of its life on a giant ship crossing an ocean. And those ships run on the cheapest, filthiest fuel left in the world, a tar-like sludge called bunker oil. Shipping quietly pumps out a huge share of the world's pollution far out at sea where nobody has to look at it. The trouble is that cleaning it up is genuinely hard. You cannot run an extension cord out to a freighter in the middle of the Pacific. Batteries big enough to cross an ocean would weigh more than the cargo they were supposed to carry. So engineers went hunting for a liquid you could burn like fuel, but that wouldn't wreck the planet. And they landed on a strange answer. Ammonia is just nitrogen and hydrogen stuck together. There is no carbon in it anywhere. And that is the whole point, because if there's no carbon in the fuel, then burning it can't give off any carbon dioxide. It is the very same molecule the world has been making by the hundreds of millions of tons for over a century, mostly to fertilize crops and, yes, to clean your windows. The bet China is making is simple. Take a chemical we already produce almost everywhere on Earth and teach a ship's engine to run on it. Now here's how far along this actually is, and the numbers are bigger than most people realize. Start with the scale of the builder. Chinese shipyards now take in close to 2/3 of all the new ship orders on the entire planet. When one country builds that many of the world's ships, whatever fuel it commits to, everyone else tends to follow. Then there's the engine. The heart of a big ship is a giant 2-stroke engine, and the leading maker of the ammonia version is a company called WinGD. It still carries a Swiss name, but it is now owned 100% by China's state shipbuilding giant. The first of its ammonia engines was built and bench tested in China, and running on ammonia, it cut greenhouse gas emissions by more than 90% compared to diesel. Then there are the ships. In 2025, Chinese yards launched the first really large ammonia-powered bulk carriers, monsters of over 200,000 tons, 300 meters long, with the first of them being handed over through this year and next. And the very first ocean-going ship in the world designed to run on ammonia, delivered in the middle of 2026, is powered by one of those Chinese-owned engines. But ammonia comes with a real catch, and it's worth being straight about it. Kilo for kilo, it holds less than half the energy of the oil it's replacing. So a ship needs fuel tanks roughly 2.5 to 3 times bigger to travel the same distance. That is a serious engineering headache, and Chinese naval architects have been redrawing entire ships around it, giving up precious cargo room to make space for the fuel. They are doing it on purpose anyway because they believe that trade is exactly where the whole industry is heading. So why should you care what powers a bulk carrier you will never set foot on? Because shipping is the invisible bloodstream of your entire life. Almost everything traded between countries crosses an ocean on a ship, which means most of what you own arrived burning that dirty oil, adding to the air you breathe and the climate you live in. Clean up how ships are fueled, and you clean up one of the largest sources of pollution that almost nobody ever talks about. It runs day and night all year round, hauling the mountain of stuff that modern life quietly depends on, and it has had a free pass on its exhaust for as long as anyone can remember. And there's a second payoff that lands closest to the people who need it most. Port cities take the worst of a ship's exhaust, and the neighborhoods pressed up against the docks are very often the poorest ones. Ships that stop belching sulfur and soot mean real, breathable improvements in exactly the places that have carried that burden for 100 years. And then there's the deeper reason a country might want this. Oil you have to find, drill, and haul halfway across the world from a handful of places. Ammonia you can make anywhere you have air, water, and clean electricity. A nation that fuels its ships on ammonia it made at home is a nation whose trade can't be strangled by blocking a pipeline or a strait. For the biggest trading country on earth, that is not a small thing. That is the entire game. But here's the part that should make you sit back. None of this is some breakthrough that had to wait on a new discovery. We have been making ammonia at gigantic scale for more than 100 years. It is one of the most produced chemicals on the planet. The reason half the world can grow enough food to eat. Engines that burn it are clever, but they are hardly magic. So the honest question is, why is oil still king of the oceans if the alternative has been sitting in our fertilizer plants the entire time? And the answer is the same one you'll hear again and again on this channel. Oil was cheap. Every port and every engine on Earth was already built around it, and the pollution got dumped far out at sea where no customer ever had to smell it. The barrel was working beautifully for the people who sold it, and pollution you cannot see is pollution nobody ever gets a bill for. Nobody who sold that oil had a single reason to change. It took a different kind of company to break the lock, one that makes its money selling the ships, not the fuel poured into them. China does not sell the world its oil, it sells the world its ships. So, of course, it is the one building the ship that finally doesn't need a barrel of oil at all. If it fires something in you to realize the cleaner path was sitting in a fertilizer plant the whole time, waiting on someone with a reason to use it, then you're already one of us. Subscribe, and I'll keep showing you the futures that were possible for decades, held back by nothing but who happened to be making money on the old way. Now the honest part, because ammonia is no free lunch, it is genuinely toxic, and a leak in a crowded port is dangerous in a way an oil spill is not. Burn it carelessly and it throws off nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas hundreds of times stronger than carbon dioxide. And it is only truly clean if the ammonia itself was made with clean power, which today almost none of it is. These ships are launched and their engines tested, but the whole fleet is only just beginning to touch the water. So the next time you spray the glass cleaner from under your sink, think about how the same chemical made clean might soon push the world's cargo across the sea without a drop of oil. Here's my question for you. If the fuel of the future was hiding in our fertilizer and our cleaning bottles all along, what else that we already make by the millions of tons are we just not using, right? Tell me below.